As a solo online business owner, I know how hard it can be to try and do and learn all the things that you have to do to sell your products or services. You have to wear so many hats. You have to learn how to grow an audience, how to market your offers, how to sell your offers, and within that you have to learn even more specifics like copywriting, email marketing, the list goes on. It's a lot, particularly if you have other responsibilities and you have to do this on a part-time basis like me. So in this video, I'm going to share all the parts of my Notion AI online business management system, which helps me to speed up many parts of the process and also get advice from AI on some things that I'm maybe not so good at. It's a long video, so I'm going to put lots of timestamps in the description so you can jump about to the bits that interest you. But right before we jump into the system, there are 2 links in the description that you should find useful. There is my free course, the Online Business Owner's Guide to Notion and Notion AI. And you can also find the link to buy this system that I'm demoing in this video, and it's called the Notion AI Online Business Management System. But for now, let's jump into Notion and have a look. Okay, so let's take an overview look at the Online Business Management System before we jump into the individual sections. So this is the dashboard, where we have access to our task manager at the top and we can view today's tasks. And then we have an index down the left hand side where I have my product and offer planning hub. I can access directly my launched products. So the product and offer planning hub is anything from idea through to offers that you're working on and launched products. So this is just a specific view of the product and offer hub, which only shows launched products. Then we have our sales campaign planner, which is actually all on this page, and I'll show you that in a second. We have our primary content hub, our repurposing content hub. So for me, primary content is long form content. So whether that's blog posts, YouTube videos, or podcasts. And then repurposing is when you take the topic of that long form content and then break it down into different social media posts. Then we have a collaboration hub for getting in front of other people's audiences in various ways, and the email marketing hub. So the front page, as well as today's tasks, shows you your sales campaign planner. We have access to view our launched products. We have our campaign status and our income by campaign. So that's the kind of top level overview, and I will jump into each section and see how they interact with each other. Okay, so the first section we're going to take a look at is the product and offer hub. So this is where you plan out any new products and where you keep all the assets relating to your products organized. So we have an index section here on the left where you can access the backend database, which just has all the information about all your products. And we have access to our launched products, which you can see here as well, because I've got a view of it just within the hub homepage. We then have a section where you can input any new ideas. You would just click this button. You would input what your new idea is. And then you should see it shows up down here now in your ideas automatically. So this is just a quick way to access. If you say you have an idea when you're in bed, you can go straight to this and input the idea without having to kind of search for a way to input. So we'll just delete that too. So I'm going to use a bit of a meta example because it's the one that I've got most fleshed out in here. I'm going to use this template that I'm demoing right now as a digital product and show you everything I've entered in here. So I've clicked on it to open it, and you can see I have an option of side peak, center peak, and full page. So I'm going to select full page so we don't get distracted. And so I've input the title for it here, AI Online Business Management Template. I may change the name of that, but that's my working title. And I've filled in details about who it's for, what's included, what problem it solves, and why me. So why me is my positioning. What makes me different to other people on the market? What is my angle? And once I've input all that information, I can ask AI to suggest some names, clicking this little magic wand here. Now, I don't think AI is great at naming things right now. It always comes up with these kind of really cheesy ideas, but AI is always improving, so I've kept this prompt in here for when that happens, and you never know, one of the ideas that AI comes up with
may prompt an idea in your own mind. And then this next section is one of my favourite sections. So this is price suggestions generated by AI. So this is based on the target audience, the problem, and the problem the product solves, and the features. This will suggest a pricing strategy for you. So I'm not going to click this because I quite like what AI has produced already, but I could regenerate it by clicking that magic wand again. So this is the strategy it's suggesting for this product is an introductory price of $99 going up to a regular price of $149, which kind of ties in with what I was thinking based on my knowledge of kind of other Notion templates and systems. But I think this is a good thing to have if you tend to get in your own head and often underprice yourself. I do think it suggests prices on the low end, but it's good to help you come up with almost a minimum price if you do tend to price too low. Then we have some other features which are not AI based but are going to help you to plan and just play around with things. So we've got your product format. So if I click on this, you can see all the options. We've got one-on-one service, group programmer service, pre-recorded course with live element, self-study course, digital product, subscription membership, directory marketplace, and agency. So you pick whichever one is you. And then we have our payment structure. So we've got one-off, maybe people pay you weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And you can see these numbers in brackets. That's how many payments you're going to get in a year. So you want to take that number and you want to type it in here based on which one you select. And this is just so that you can do some calculations and see how profitable your offer is. So then you pop in your proposed selling price here. So I've gone with the $149. I've decided to pay myself $30 an hour just as a kind of minimum what I would like my take-home pay to be. So I've got a digital product in here. Digital products don't tend to be tied that much to time when it comes to delivering the product or service. Marketing is a whole other issue, but it's more so for services or group programs where you're taking time to deliver that product. So then I've input the hours needed to deliver the product. So I've just put in a small portion of an hour here. I've put 0.2 because you do tend to get some customer service inquiries about how to access the product or emails every now and then to deal with digital products. So that's just allowing for that. If this was a service, you would put in how many hours approximately you need to deliver that service. And then this will work out your labour costs based on what you have put in as your hourly rate. And then you can put in what your transaction charges are. So if you use Stripe, or for example, I use PayHip, which charges 5% on the plan I'm on and a 50-cent flat fee. So I've got the 50-cent flat fee in here and the 5% in here. So this works out what my transaction fees are. So then the yearly income, this is yearly income based on one person. So this is just to show you roughly how profitable something is. Obviously, if it's something that's relying on scale, this is going to be a little off, but it's just making sure it still makes sense for you to deliver it. So the yearly income is $149 for one sale. The total costs for that sale are $13.95. So that's for my time and transaction fees. And so my gross profit before I pay for any of my other expenses is $135.05. So that just is to kind of help you keep on top of the numbers. Then we have a space for any graphics or photographic assets for you to attach, links to any sales copy, links to any marketing copy. Then we have a link to testimonials so that you can access testimonials relating to that product easily. And you can change these to attach these assets, or you can link to them stored elsewhere. It's up to you. To do that, you would change the property. You would click on the property, click Edit Property. You would go to Type, and you can change to URL or to File. So you can change between the two based on how you want to run these and where you want to store your assets. Okay, and then at the bottom here, we have a link to our task manager. So you can see a list of tasks here, and then you can just create new tasks. So let's say I have a task that I've created this product and I want to allocate some time to come back and flesh it out and start working on the sales asset. So I would put work on sales assets for online business management system. And I click the plus, and that's created a new task in my task manager. I've not allocated a date, so it will be in my inbox. So when we go to look at the task manager section, we'll cover that off and see what we do with it then. Okay, so now we have all our sales and marketing assets, creations, tools down here. So this is all linked to this database entry. So the reason I've set this up this way is because the way Notion AI works is Notion AI can only read from within a database. So if I want AI to generate ideas for this product, I need to have it all set up within this product entry in this database. So I have a market research section. This isn't AI based. It would be great if you could just pull through information automatically. Maybe I'll work out how to do that one day. But at the moment, what you would do is you click this button and it just adds a space for you to start pasting in some market research. So I like to go to YouTube videos and copy and paste comments across that are in relation to the problem I'm solving. I also like to find information in Facebook groups. Reddit's a good play. You would just fill that in and it's going to give AI more information to pull from. But for the purposes of this, I'm not going to fill it in because it's going to take too long. So next up, we have all our sales assets. So we have this in toggle so that the page doesn't go on forever and a day. And so it's split into write sales page, write email sequence, create webinar outline, create 5-day challenge outline, suggest sales mechanisms, and long form content ideas. So we'll take a look at these each individually to see how they work. So first up, we have write sales page. So this is a button that you click and it's going to, so when we click it, it comes up with a prompt. We just click generate, we wait, and based on the information that we input on our product info up here, it's going to write a sales page. So I've given it a kind of prompt of the things I want included on the sales page. And usually it's quite short and a little bit generic, so you are going to need to go into this and add your own spin to it, make it more personalized, give it some personality, but it's going to give you the bones of your sales page based on your product. So what you can do, if you like what it's generated, you can duplicate this and then start working on it, and you've still got the original in case you mess up when you're working on your own version and editing it. If you don't like it, you can click this update button and it will, oh, it's doing the bottom one, never mind, and it will create a new version for you. And once you're done working on your sales page, you can hide it to go on and work on other parts of your sales assets. So next up we have email sequence. So in here, we do the same thing. We click the button and it's going to generate a 7-part email sequence to run over 5 days. Well, it's up to you how many days you span it over, but it's going to generate a 7-part email sequence. So it generates each email. So this is going to take a little bit of time, so I shall pause while it does this. Okay, so I've got my email sequences. So I can now go into these and edit them the same as the sales page to make them more like me and fill in any of this placeholder information and just add the human touch really. And once I'm happy with my sequence, I can then copy each individual email. So let's just take this one the way it is. It's suggesting subject lines as well, which is great. Right, here we go. So if I just copy all this the way it is, and go down here and click this toggle that says Email Marketing Hub. This is a direct link to my Email Marketing Hub. So if I have a set date for this sequence to go out, if it's a live launch where live dates are happening, I can add in my email sequence here. Look, I've already created one. I'm going to delete this and show you how you would do it from scratch. So let's say we want the sequence to start on the 2nd of July. Let's just go in here and we'll add an end date. So this is at least a 5-day sequence. Let's say we want it to end the following Tuesday. We can set the dates there. We'll call this launch sequence online biz management system. Okay, so this top section we'll get into when we're on the email marketing section. It's for individual emails, but we have this email sequence template at the bottom. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to type in email 1. And then for the email copy, I'm just going to paste in what I copied and make that a bit bigger so it's not so deep. And I can copy across the subject line and any other information. Send date if it's a specific date. So I said the 2nd of July there, didn't I? So the first email will go out then. And I can do the same if I do this on side view. So I can still see all this. I can go up then and I can go to email 2 and make this a bit smaller for a minute. I'm going to try and copy email 2. And then I can go down and add in email 2, paste in the content, and kind of plan them out and plan out what days these emails are going out. And I have this all in my email hub ready to go. So that's how the email sequence part works. Next up, I have suggest sales mechanisms. So this is just a little bit of an extra kind of fun one to see if we can come up with, because everybody does webinars and 5-day challenges, to see what AI comes up with. And I guess this will change as time goes on as AI learns more. So we click this button, and this is all based on what I'm selling. So it's reading obviously the information of what your product is or what your service is. And I'll just click generate. I've set up this prompt to suggest an easy sales mechanism, an interesting sales mechanism, and an innovative one. I suppose interesting and innovative are fairly similar, to be honest. So let's see what it's come up with. So easy, it's come up with starting a weekly newsletter, AI for business insiders. So it's suggesting to use a weekly email newsletter specific to using AI for business. Interesting is a day in the life challenge, how to use AI online business management template in day-to-day operations, daily tasks for a week. So it's a bit like a 5-day challenge, that one. And then innovative is to host a virtual roundtable discussion about AI for business, which is quite an interesting idea actually. So it's just giving you some different ideas. And again, you can duplicate this if you like them, and you can press the button again to get more ideas. So it's just a way to kind of help you brainstorm other ways to sell. Next up, we have webinar outline. So this is, if I click the button, click generate, it's going to create a webinar outline. I'm going to pause while this generates. So it's created an outline here, and I would say this outline is kind of more geared towards if you were selling a course or something rather than a template. So what I can do, this is a great way for me to demo this, is I'm going to delete this version. I'm going to click the button, which shows you what the prompt is. And I'm going to say, this says at the moment, please outline a sales webinar that provides 3 valuable lessons. I'm going to change that to demonstrate how to use the system but still leaves the viewer feeling positive even if they don't buy. And we'll see if it comes up with something a bit different. So I'm really just showing you this to show that you can change the prompt if it's down here. If it's in the table, like the pricing suggestion, you can't change the prompt very easily without changing it for all of your products. But down here, when you change the prompt, you're only changing it in this instance, and it'll still remain the templated prompt everywhere else. So we'll click generate. Okay, so it's now changed the structure of the webinar slightly to be more of a demo. And interestingly, it's said in here in the demo section, I'll walk you through each hub, showing you how the system covers all aspects of online business management, which is funny because that's exactly how I'm structuring this video. So that's come up with a totally different output, obviously, by me changing the prompt slightly. So it's handy to have that functionality. So you can again edit this in here, you can duplicate it and edit, or edit in the original if you want. I've left a space here for you to add your own version as well, which you can use, or you can just edit directly in the AI section. And then once you're happy with it, you can, or even before that, when you've got the kind of bare bones of what you're going to do, you can add it directly into the product database as its own product from here, by clicking this new button. So let's click that, and we'll call this for Online Biz Management System and close that. And now if I go back here to the hub, it's easier to see things in the hub. If we go to ideas, you can see it's now in here as its own product, webinar for online business management system. And when you create the webinar as its own product, that means you can go through this whole process then for your webinar as well, because it is essentially its own product. It just happens to be a free product that people are signing up for, but you can fill all the info in for that and get suggestions for your sales and marketing assets for the webinar. Then we have 5-day challenge, and this works in exactly the same way as the webinar, so I won't bother clicking anything for that. And again, you can add it in as its own product into the product database. And then lastly, we've got long form content ideas. So this, when we click the button, click generate, is going to come up with lots of long form content ideas. So we have some general content ideas. We've got some awareness content ideas for people who are problem aware but not solution aware. Consideration ideas when people are starting to consider solutions, and then purchase content ideas for when people are at that purchase stage. So let's just look at a general content idea for now. Why AI is the future of online business management. We'll just use that one for the sake of this. I can click and copy this, and I can input this into my long form content calendar. So I'm going to go into the next month. It's getting a bit full. This actually has all my YouTube videos on it, so I'm going to go for Thursday so I can find this again later. I'm going to paste this in here. And we will come back to this when we look at the content planning hub, the primary content planning hub. So I'm just going to put that in here just now as is, and then we'll come back to it. We'll just put the status as idea. So that's kind of all the sales assets and marketing assets. Then we have customer onboarding and feedback. So I've got customer onboarding, so I'll delete this. Well, I won't bother deleting it again, but it works the same way. You click the button, you get the prompt, and you click generate. So here's some ideas that AI has already come up with for customer onboarding. So we've got a welcome email, an initial product walkthrough, access to training resources, check-in calls, surprise gift to delight the customer, regular updates, and feedback and reviews. So it's just suggesting like basically some emails and other things you can do to really make your customer feel good once they buy from you, so that they're going to be a fan and recommend you to other people essentially. So that's what that section's about. And then we've got customer feedback, and it's exactly the same. You click the button and then click generate. And so this is suggestion for questions for a feedback form. So we've got, how did you first hear about the product? What motivated you to purchase? So it's really just about collecting information about how people found you, what they like about the product, what they don't like about the product, what you could improve. And then also at the end, asking what they would say to a friend or colleague, and then asking if you can use any of their responses for a testimonial or for marketing purposes to get that permission to use feedback for testimonials. So this is really all just to prompt you, because these are things you can often forget about, to remember to use them as part of your process. And lastly, we've got a metrics section, which you may or may not decide to use, but this isn't using AI, this section. But this really goes through working through some examples just to figure out, using this table, what metrics are going to be most important to you. So if you just sell one product, this is maybe going to be more useful to you. If you sell a variety of products and services, you might want to track all metrics, but this might help you if you're wanting to hone in on just specific metrics. You can work through this table and work out what's going to be best. There's an example up here for you to follow. So this links directly to the metrics page, and you can see at a glance revenue, but obviously this will be for all your products. Monthly sales, average order value, and they're all toggled again so that it's not taking up too much space. And I've got these linked to charts in an add-on that's called Rows, but I believe charts are coming to Notion soon, so when that happens, I can add the charts in myself so that you don't have that extra faff. So that is everything in the product database. It's kind of the main meat of this, and you do a lot of the work within the product database, and then it will take less time in the other sections, which we will also go through next. Okay, so next up we shall look at the primary content hub. So we have publishing calendar and we have scheduling deadlines. So this is useful if you're looking to batch content. So if we go in to the regular general planner and tracker and go to content status, this is the piece of content, the idea that we came up with in the product planner. So if we open this to full size, we can see that we can link to the product database if we want, so that we know what product this is selling. So we'll select the product and it will pull through all the information that we filled in just for our information. AI cannot read this because it's not in this database. It's just like a view only. So AI won't be able to use this information when it is generating any content. So it can only really at this stage read the title. So what we can then do is we can decide on what's the purpose of this content. So I use YouTube as my primary content platform. So do I want to attract via SEO? Do I want to attract through curiosity? So I think with this I want to attract through curiosity because I don't think it's something people will be searching for because it's quite new and quite specific. But I will show you the SEO features while I'm at it. So I'm going to add in an SEO target keyword even though I'm not targeting it. So I've put Notion AI and online business, which I would say are two separate keywords. Notion AI and online business would probably be getting searched separately, but we'll pop that in there for the purpose of showing you how this works. So I can add in my schedule deadline. So I've got the publishing deadline as the 4th. So let's say my scheduling deadline is the 30th of June. Pop that in there. My chosen idea, I'll paste the title again. The rest of this I can fill in if I want to. It's about if I have any main talking points or links that I want to include. And then this is where I link to the final piece of content. So then we go back down to this section again to get into it. So if I click on, I'm going to go through these in order. So even though I said this was for curiosity, we'll pretend I'm wanting to attract people through SEO. So if I click on this drop down here, I've got 3 options for SEO. We've got for blog posts, for YouTube and for podcasts. So I'm going to click the YouTube because that's what I do. And I'm going to click generate. And it's going to give me 3 suggested ideas for YouTube video titles based on showing up in search on YouTube. If I was doing blog, it would do it for a blog post, and podcast for podcasts. You get the picture. For the metadata, and this is slightly different. So I'm going to show you the difference. So for blog post, it's going to come up with the metadata that shows up so you have your title and description, metadata description that shows up on Google search results when you do a Google search. So for YouTube, it gives tag suggestions, as you can see here. So those are slightly different. So that's how the SEO section works. And we've got curiosity. So this is very similar, but rather than targeting showing up in SEO, it's targeting making people curious and making them want to click, being a bit more mysterious. So it just comes up with title ideas based on that. Then we have content outline, so this is kind of self-explanatory. The prompts are slightly different for each of these. So the YouTube one is much more about opening loops so that people watch till the end. Then we just have a place where you can enter in your final content. If you're repurposing from your primary content, so your blog post, your YouTube video or your podcast, into like Instagram, rather than just using the bare bones of a title, if you've worked on that content and you have a final transcript or a blog post, if you paste it in here, it's going to make coming up with your social media content easier. It's going to be more detailed. If you don't fill that in, it's going to be a bit more vague, but it's still going to spark ideas. So you don't need to fill this in for these to work, but it's going to give better information to AI to generate that content. So then we have a LinkedIn generator. These all work in a similar way. So I'll just show you LinkedIn and show you what the other options are, but they all work in a similar way. So you click generate, and each of these I've asked it to suggest 3 or 4 content ideas based on the formats of content on that platform. So for LinkedIn, we've got a text post, a carousel post, and a poll. So let's just go with the text post because it's the easiest for the sake of time to transfer over. So I'm just going to copy this. I wouldn't copy directly from AI. I would change and make this my own and check it makes sense. But for the sake of this, let's pretend AI is amazingly perfect and I love this idea. I can then go to my repurposing calendar and I can pick a date. I can put linked in text post for online business management system. And then I can add the content caption here. I've got the date. Status is at the moment in planning. And we'll leave it like that. And we'll have a look at that when we go into the content repurposing calendar. We have YouTube community, which is what I tend to use. It's quite similar to LinkedIn or Instagram. You have carousel postability, text and images. We have Instagram. We have Facebook page or group. We have TikTok and we have Pinterest. So Pinterest is a little bit different in that it's suggesting descriptions and graphics for pins, but they all get posted or scheduled into the content repurposing calendar underneath. And that is kind of the main pieces. Okay, so let's now have a look at the Repurposing Hub. So this is fairly basic. We've got the calendar so we can see everything we've got planned out content-wise. If you want to change what's visible here, you can go to properties shown and you can toggle on and off pieces of content. So you might want to add in fact I do want to add in content type. So I can see what the content type is and content platform. But we haven't really filled that in yet. So let's go into the post that we created in the last lesson, in the last section, and make it full page. And we can go through all the sections in this. So you can link up the parent content so we know what this is linked to, what the kind of overarching topic is. So that was why AI is the future of online business management. We can choose content type. So this is a text post. We can choose the platform. So this is LinkedIn. And then we can add an overview. So this is if we've just taken an idea direct from AI and we're not totally happy with it, we can put that in here. And if we need any media, we can tick this box. So that would be if you need to film real footage or B-roll or create graphics in Canva. And then there's this AI feature that's hit or miss, but it's a bit of fun to see if it comes up with anything interesting. So it's coming up with 3 different media ideas. So we've got an image showcasing a person using a computer with AI-related graphics, an animated GIF demonstrating how AI can streamline online business management processes. Not sure how you would find that GIF. And an infographic highlighting the key benefits of incorporating AI and Notion in online business management. So that one could work. So it just gives you some ideas, and again you can update it by clicking it again if you don't like any of the ideas, or you can ignore it if you think they're all terrible. Then we have media description. So this is if you've decided your own media to create. So let's say it's a reel, even though this is LinkedIn we're looking at. B-roll of me typing on my laptop, for example. Anything like that you need to create, you can put notes about what you need to create there. And then we've got a tick box for if media has been created. And then we've got a link to add any of our content here if we want to. And again, if you're just planning this out and you're going to create the content at a separate date, you can create tasks in here that will go in your task manager. So let's do that. Create infographic, let's say, for LinkedIn. We'll click plus, and that should be in our inbox as well. And then we can add anything else we want to in here relating to this piece of content, but really by the time you get to this stage, it should be quite simple. And then if we go back to our content repurposing hub, you can see on the calendar, we've got our LinkedIn text post planned here. It says text, LinkedIn, and it's at planning stage. So we can see the status by looking at the calendar. So this content management section, as well as having the Kanban view and the calendar view, which is the same as above, you have this media needed column. So this is filtered. So it's filtered by when the media needed box is checked, but the media created box is unchecked. So anything that you've still to create media for. So that's just so you can see a list of media that you need to create. And then we've got content by platform. This is if you're using more than one platform, you can kind of see what you've got planned. And then we've got content type. So this is obviously useful if you're creating a carousel image for Instagram. It's probably worth creating a carousel image for YouTube communities as well, if you use YouTube or any other platform that uses carousels. So that's kind of all the main content repurposing stuff. Okay, so this is the last hub, and then we'll look at the other kind of bits and pieces. So this is the email marketing hub. So this is a pretty simple one. We have a calendar, so we can see what emails we've got planned to go out. So as you can see, we've got that launch sequence online business management one that we planned out back when we were planning our product. So if I click into that, I can show you the difference. So it's not got any status just now. Let's just click on it and change the status to planning, and I'll move that up to the top. So now we can see it in planning here. That's more useful. So we've got our launch sequence dates. We can put in a purpose here. So we'll say to sell online biz management system. Content overview, this would be if we're planning it all here, but we've got our template down here. So we would have filled all this in already. And then when we're ready to, we can copy and paste it over to our email marketing platform. One thing I didn't show you when I was copying this over is I put in send dates, or I put the first send date in. But if it's going to be an evergreen sequence, you can just put days to next email. So so this is on day 0, and then the next email goes 1 day later, and so on. So you can kind of set what the cadence is of how often you're sending those emails in this part. So if we go back to the hub, the other way you can send an email is just a single newsletter. So let's say newsletter. I would usually put a date in, but I'll just call it that for now. We'll call it idea. And the purpose of this email is just to nurture list and mention products. And we can put our content overview here. So let's say trying to juggle all the things and mention my online business management system. So that's an overview of what this content is going to be about, and then I can go ahead and actually write the email in here. If I'm going to use preview text in my email, I can put it here. I can plan my subject line here, and then the rest of this is really for when my email has gone out to see how well it's done, just to track the metrics. And if I'm wanting to add a task, let's say check back on email metrics, and I'll put in brackets that the email is going out on, what date did I choose? 27th of June. Check on email metrics, 27th of June. Click plus on that, and that's created another task for me to go back to. So then I can keep an eye on my email status here. So what's an idea, what's in progress, what's sent, what's scheduled, and so I can click and drag between those. This is for tracking email performance. So once I've filled in how emails have done, what the open rate, I can sort by open rate, or I can sort by, I've got click rate here descending. I can sort by open rate, or I could sort by income and see what emails are doing well. And that's kind of how the email marketing hub works. Okay, so the next hub we're going to look at is the collaboration hub. This is another one I'm very excited by. I love using this. So I created this before I started using Notion AI to manage taking part in virtual summits contributing to free and paid bundles, and I've now adapted it and added to it so you can also pitch to be on podcast interviews or YouTube interviews or guest blog posts or anything like that. So I shall show you how this works. So similar to having a publishing date and a scheduling date with content, this one has the dates of the collaborations and application deadlines showing at the top. And I'm going to use a summit that I recorded a presentation for just yesterday as an example here. So what I did was, when I saw this summit was happening and they were looking for speaker applications, I quickly created an entry in this hub. So I added it in the application deadlines, as you can see here. I just clicked on the date and I added the title of the summit. I had the deadline date, and I put a link to where all the application information was. And then I came back to it when I had time to actually give it some attention. And we shall open this in full page 2 so we can see how this works. So the title of the summit is here, Strategies That Stack. So when I came back in, I went to the page with all the summit information and I pasted the blurb about what the summit's about, and I put it in here, in this top one, which is what is the collaboration topic. Then this is how I found this collab section. This is more for if you're doing outbound outreach pitching podcasts where the person doesn't know who you are or anything about you, so that you can show that you've actually done some research, listen to their podcast or listen to their YouTube channel before you pitch, because otherwise they'll probably not pay any attention to your pitch. So I've left that empty because I was like going through an application process. Then I input just a little blurb about what I sell, and then what my point of difference is again, so my positioning, so that I have all that information in here to help me use AI later on down the line. Then I just put what this collaboration is. So it's a summit and it's a paid bundle. So you can contribute to a bundle of digital products that people get if they upgrade to the Summit Pass, where they get the Summit presentations forever rather than just for a couple of days. We have other options: free bundle, guest blog post, blog interview, podcast interview, YouTube interview, live event speaking. So we've got all those to choose from. What I submitted, I forgot to fill in, but that's when you fill in an application form or send a pitch, fill that in so you can remember what you said you were going to talk about, so you don't forget. As you can see, I've forgotten to fill it in. And then contact email for the person that's running the collaboration, or the person that you want to collaborate with. Then we've got a link to more info. So this is the link that I put in for accessing all the information about this summit, so that I could fill in the application and knew what they were looking for. And then I've got notes and other links. So here I've added in the application links. It's a different link to the information link. I've got promo requirements. Often when you apply for collaborations, you have to commit to a certain amount of promotion. And I know that this is 2 emails and 2 social posts. And then later on, because the summit hasn't happened yet, the host will provide swipe files for emails and for social media and graphics and all that sort of stuff. And when she provides that, I can add the link in here. Then, so when I applied, I ticked the tick box that says applied. When I was accepted, I ticked the accepted one. And if I had been turned down, I would click the hide one, just so it's away off my system, not cluttering up my workspace. This is the application deadline that I put in when I initially saw what the collaboration was. And then if they share a decision date for something like this where you're applying, I would put that in there so I know if I've not heard by then that I've not been accepted. The launch date I've forgotten to put in, but I would put in the launch dates in here. I know it's in August and I'm probably going to put the wrong dates. We'll just put this for now, for example. So you'll have the launch period. The promotional period is usually the same. Sometimes it's a bit longer. Product availability. This is specifically for things like bundles where you're providing a product that you usually sell for free. This is where you would put the dates that that product needs to be available for free to those people for. So that if you're setting it up as a sale or a coupon, you can attach dates to that, to those settings. Presentation to be ready for, so I do know these dates, but I've not put them in this particular version. Okay, and then if they have an affiliate portal for affiliate links, I can put my link to the affiliate portal in there. I can just directly put my affiliate link in here for sharing it in emails. And then these are really for after the collaboration, so I can attribute any income I've made from that collaboration. So I've got affiliate sales income, email leads, and tripwire purchases if I set up a tripwire for whatever my call to action is. Right, so that's all the kind of stuff that I had set up before I started using Notion AI. And then I added a few fun buttons down here. So the first one is suggested collaboration ideas. So this is based on all the information I input up at the top here about what the collaboration is about, what I sell, and what my point of difference is. And it will come up with 5 different collaboration ideas for me to pitch. So in this case, it's for a summit presentation, but it could be pitching topics for a podcast interview or a YouTube interview. So I've gone through these, and I like number 3, which is using Notion AI to systemize marketing strategies. So the summit's called Strategies That Stack, and I'm talking about using Notion to stack my marketing strategies, like how to systemize that. So I liked this idea. I changed the title slightly, so I highlighted it, and then I put my chosen pitch idea down here, changed it slightly to how I systemize my stack strategies using Notion AI, so it fits in more with the title of the summit. Then I clicked this button and asked it to outline a 20-minute presentation for me, because that's how long the talks are. And that's how long usually these talks are, so I just put that in as the prompt. But again, if your presentation is a different length of time, when you click this button, you can change the length. And if you're not allowed to pitch, you can change out what this prompt says. So it's outlined the presentation here, and then I've duplicated it and started working on it myself here, and just added in all my own information and just more detail, really. So that's how I used it for a summit. If it was a podcast interview pitch email, I would click this button. So let's just add in here, because this is find you on Threads and attended your summit last year. So AI knows Threads is Threads, just in case. Right. So if I click this, click generate, hopefully it's going to come up with a personalized email. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, I told it to keep it short, so there's some bits I would cut out of this, because I hope this email finds you well is a bit cheesy. So I'm Amy, a digital product strategist specializing in using Notion AI to streamline business operations and strategies. I came across your upcoming summit Strategies That Stack on Threads, and I'm eager to contribute. Having used AI extensively in my work, I have developed a unique system to manage and optimize business strategies efficiently. My proposal is to deliver a presentation titled How I Systemize My Stacked Strategies Using Notion and AI, which I believe will provide significant value to your audience. This talk will demonstrate how Notion AI can help business owners systemize their marketing strategies, reduce the feeling of being frazzled, and increase productivity. I look forward to the possibility of contributing to your summit. Please let me know if you'd be interested in discussing this further. So if this wasn't an application process, that's a pretty good pitch email. I would maybe try and shorten it a little bit, but it's a really good, if you're terrified of sending pitch emails, I think it really helps you get out your head. So that is the kind of main part of the Collaboration Hub. Let me go back to the main page. Just check I've not forgotten anything. So we've got our 2 calendars showing our dates, and then we've just got a list of collaborations at the bottom, which is quite handy just to see in table form, so that you can see what you've applied to, what you've been accepted to, and you can see it all in one go. And you can filter and sort when it's in table format by whatever you like, by date, by the date of the collaboration, by deadline dates, by dates of products needing to be available. So you can just slice and dice this however you like using this. Choose the section that you want to sort by, and kind of set in the filters. So the very last thing to look at is the sales campaign planner. So we've got that on the front page here. There's a link to the backend database here, but you can see the bones of it here. So let's say I've got a campaign happening next week. So we'll click on the 1st of July and I want that campaign to end on the Friday. So I can set a start and end date. The campaign status right now is in planning, so I'll select planning. And if I've got a deal, so say I'm running a flash sale, I can put that in here, or say it's, if you buy one thing, you get another thing bundled with it. Anything like that, I can put the details of the deal in here. So let's say flash sale of X product % off. I can link to the product here if I want to, if I need to. I can add tasks that will end up in my task manager. I can link to my email campaign planner, which is the one I tend to use with campaigns the most. But so if I've got a campaign where I'm running a flash sale that week, I would probably link to my product database for the product that I'm running a flash sale on. Let's go with this Google Analytics course example. I can create an email or an email sequence from here. So I'll just put GA flash sale campaign. I can click plus, open that, and then I can input any details about this. So it's an idea right now. The email dates are from the 1st to the 5th, because that's my campaign dates. And then I can come back in and plan my emails. So if I go back into this campaign, I can set a task for writing those emails. I can link up any primary content. I would say it's probably more just straight to social media content I would create for this. So let's say community image post. Click plus. Click into it. Set the posting date. So let's say I want to do that on the first day of the launch. Set the status as idea. Content type is static image. Content platform is YouTube community. And if I've got an idea at the time, I can pop it in here in the content overview and tick the media needed box. Or I can come back and do that later. So this is how the campaign planner kind of links up with everything else, so that when you're planning out campaigns, you can plan directly into these other planners. And you can go back and find ideas from your product planner. You can click into that, and you can go down and you can look at your sales assets and see if we go to long-form content ideas, we can see what's generated and pull some of that through. And once the campaign is run, you can go back in and you can input any affiliate sales, any offer sales, and it will add up the total income from that campaign. And then you can track it in this income by campaign, and you can sort that by various things as well and filter. So this is showing all past campaigns. But you could set specific dates if you're wanting to look at results just within a certain year, and you can see what campaigns are performing well and go back in and see what you did for that campaign. So that's why that's useful. Okay, so the last thing to look at is the task manager. So we have our inbox here. So these are the tasks that we have created in other sections of the Online Business Manager. So we have this first one is check on email metrics. So this is for an email that's going out on the 27th of June. So let's say we're going to start a rule where we check the metrics maybe a week later. So that would be on the 4th of July. So we'll set that date. And because we've set a due date, it's now gone from the inbox. Create an infographic for LinkedIn. Let's pretend we want to do that today. We'll just pop a date there. Work on sales assets for online business management. Let's say that's today as well. Oops. Due today. And schedule YouTube community posts. Let's say we want to do that tomorrow. So we can go into our inbox and assign dates. And you can see our tasks for today are showing here. Anything that's overdue will show here. These are test tasks that I set up. What's due tomorrow is showing here. what I've got on this week, I'll show here, and next week shows here. So I can see all the upcoming tasks. You can see it in timeline view, and you can see anything that's not scheduled here, but I've just scheduled everything, and then we have a calendar. If I unschedule one of these, let's see, what will I pick? I'll pick one of these overdue tasks. Let's clear this date. Okay, so you can see now that task 4 is showing up in unscheduled because I cleared the due date. So I can plan out this way as well, and this is Isola's system, not mine, so I can't take credit for this. So I can just click and drag when I want that task to be scheduled using the calendar view. So that's how the Task Manager works. If we go back to the Online Business Manager front page, you'll see now that I've assigned tasks and assigned a couple for today, they are showing on the front page so I can see them. And this just means I can see what I've got on today at a glance at the front of my management system.